Hi everyone, I'm Leisha Craft, and I wanted to share a bit of a video series talking a bit more about the work that I do, the way that I work with energy, and how I'm really creating some significant change for people in hopes that what I share will apply for you. I was speaking to one of my friends a few days ago, and she said, you don't really talk very much publicly about how you see things and how you work with people, kind of what the systems and structures are of what it is that you do. And so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to share because in the last year, things have changed quite significantly. So prior to this past year, I had been doing intuitive readings, mediumship readings professionally for about 8 years. And really enjoyed that work, loved that work, but got the clear message that it was time to move to something different. And so I developed a new structure in 2020 to work with clients one-on-one. And it was really such a delightful experience for me to go through to really capture and understand the ability that we have to create change on an individual level. So I've always been kind of a systems person, and it's sort of funny how these things will work. I thought that this was a very separate part of my personality, that, I had my kind of intuitive side that was operating in my business, and then my system side, which came in more on the back end of things, and, when I was holding down a regular job. I've always had a knack for reorganizing systems and structures to improve them, to find a better way to get to the intended outcome. And I've done that in many different ways in my life. But what I learned to do this past year is what I call system upgrades for an individual person. And it's been really exciting and really fun. And I just want to explain a bit about what this is and how it works. I guess the good place to begin would be when we have a conversation about manifestation. There's so much of that in our world right now. People are calling in all sorts of changes and new realities. And now we're at New Year's. It's like even more exponentially present in the conscious culture. So, people are looking to create change in their lives. People are wanting to maybe pull in a relationship, more money, create a business, more success, more love for themselves, whatever that is, right? And, when it comes to manifestation, I think the trickiest part about it is that we really tend to approach it from a very simplistic perspective. A lot of the teachings out there are very simple, focus on what you want, set your intentions, hold your intentions, believe in your intentions, and it will come. And, the truth is, as much as we would all love to just flip a switch and become our most amazing, magnificent, magical selves, our systems typically can't handle that level of energy at their current state. So when I work with a person, what I've come to recognize is that I'm able to see that individual in a sense as a system. We all operate on our own systems. And those systems are created through many different channels, most of which we have not consciously chosen. We come in with a certain energetic signature. That's a part of the system. Once we're born, then we have, our family of origin, and we learn many systems from them. The way that things are, what's true in the world. We go to school, we learn more systems there. We have experiences, some good, some not good. All of these things inform the unique individual system that each one of us is operating from. And so, yes, it's very different for every single person. This is not a one-size-fits-all kind of a thing. Your operating system is going to be a combination of everything that you've learned and experienced in your life up until this point. And, most people just accept that as like, this is my personality. It's just who I am. We consider it to be a static thing, which it is definitely not a static thing. But, we don't really understand the capacity that we have to choose to create shifts in that system for the most part. And, and then if we do understand the capacity, most of what's out there is just how to restructure the mental system, which doesn't really touch the energetic system, the emotional system, all of these other pieces that are informing our overall experience. The human being, the way that I see how we function in the world, we're a channel. Life force energy comes through us, and it's forced to filter through our system before it becomes expressed in the world, whether it be through using our voice, doing the work that we do, in our relationships, and the things that we're choosing, and how we show up in life all the way across the board. That's our expression, right? And our expression is always going to be life force filtered through the system equals expression. And it includes what we're able to draw in and hold capacity for in our lives. So if life force is filtered through a system that has a lot of stuff, maybe that's not been dealt with or optimized or moved through or even consciously brought to the forefront to focus on, then the way that we express will always be a little bit off, right? And so we could say to ourselves, well, I really want to focus on creating this new expansion in my life. I want to be healthier in 2021. I want to be better relationships. I want more money. I want more success in my business. I want to be more open to my intuition, whatever that is. But until we actually adjust the operating system, life force comes through the same system, creates expression. It's going to keep happening, right? And shifting the mind can change some of it. You know, I think we all have had the experience where small changes have created change in the way that we show up in the world. That's definitely true. But when we're looking to really create a foundational shift in life, a bigger change, this is where a system upgrade comes in. And you know, I've loved going through this process with people. What I do is I work with people one-on-one. We are very close in the time that we're working together. I take clients anywhere from 3 months all the way up to a year at a time, depending on the goals. And we are in communication almost every single day. And the beauty of this is that life, as you experience it, will begin to identify what the operating systems are currently, right? So people would share with me, you know, here's what's going on, here's what's happening, here, you know, what came up today, or this thing happened, and you know, I got this intuition coming through and I had this dream, whatever it is, wherever it's coming from. And we begin to start to understand what operating systems are running. And then we begin to shift them, which happens, you know, the work that I do, I bring a combination of a lot of different modalities. I guess you could call them that. My focus is to work on all levels of the being, right? So we're talking about making mental changes. We're talking about bringing in new awareness. We're talking about subconscious shifts with meditation practice. We're talking about, energy shifts with energy healing and clearing and all of these sorts of tools that we can bring in to create this kind of multi-tiered change in the system. And the beauty of it is that when we set the intention for the container, life will bring up, because that's how life works, right? We say, okay, I'm going to focus on relationships for 3 months. In that 3 months time, things are going to happen that are going to bring to the surface where the glitches, let's say, are in the system that you're currently operating from. And I want to be careful about the language about it, because it's not like there's something wrong with the way that we're operating. I don't believe that. It's served us up to a point, right? So we don't want to demonize the ways that we show up in the world. But we do want to understand that we don't have to shame ourselves for that, but we still have the choice to make some changes if it's going to help us get where we really want to go. And life brings up situations. It's happened with every single client I've worked with, where over the course of the time that we work together, everything arises that's really the main pieces that are in the way of what they're wanting to create, so that you can upgrade all these little parts of the system, and then together it begins to flow. Now you've got the capacity for life force to come through the new system with greater clarity, more specific intention, and a structure that's actually going to support what you want to call in. What I love about this is that it actually creates sustainable change, because when your system is able to hold the new energy, then it will stay, right? Now we see a lot of people, they'll manifest things in the short term and then it kind of disappears or dissipates. That's because their system doesn't have the capacity to actually hold it. So sometimes we hit on enough power to call it in, and then we don't have what it takes to actually maintain it, so it will disappear, right? So the goal is sustainable change so that we can call in what we want and then be able to actually sustain it over time and have that experience. So it's been a really beautiful process for me to go through with people. I'm sure you can tell I just am delighted by it. I enjoy it so much, and it's amazing. But, you know, the main point of my sharing here, I mean, obviously, if you resonate with me, if you want to talk about working together in the coming year, let me know. Send me a message. I still have spots open for 2021. But irregardless of that, the point is, the purpose of this video is really to remind you that foundational change is possible. Yes, it takes work, dedication, investment of time, energy, sometimes money, of course, right? Because that's how we say yes to something in this current physical reality. We say yes by giving our time, our attention, our money towards what we want to experience. But, you know, it's super important, I think, to just stay tuned into the fact that if we have a desire to experience something in our lives, and we feel that desire, whether it be a business, a relationship, a change in this whatever area of life, the desire is there because we're meant to fulfill it. Those are soul desires, right? Now, sometimes we have like funky, weird desires that come from other places. That's not really what I'm talking about here. But when you have like the desire for something big that you haven't achieved yet or that you haven't experienced yet, and you just feel a pull towards it, that's a soul desire. We're here to experience that thing. And the key is to recognize, first and foremost, to own, I am here to experience that thing. And secondarily, to be able to say, I am able to make the changes to experience that thing. If my soul is here to experience it, then there must be a way for me to create the shifts that are required for me to actually have that experience, right? And then the third step is the dedication to it. It's like, what's it going to take? What's it really genuinely going to take? And to be all in that dedication. Not from a place of like self-punishment, something's wrong with me, I've got to fix myself, oh my gosh, I'm just a horrible person who can't have that thing until I fix all my problems. Not from that place, but from a place of deserving. From a genuine place of like, no, you know what? I deserve to have the experience that my soul came here to have. And from that space, I'm dedicated to, willing to show up, to do the work that is required to create that thing. Those pieces are huge, right? We have to have the understanding that change is possible to even begin that process. But as you step into that process, what happens is that so much more becomes available than you may have previously been able to see or thought was possible for you. So, you know, I'm a huge proponent of like, let's not get hung up in the limitations. Yes, some limitations exist. Yes, some limitations are very real in our world. I will never gloss that over. And we have the capacity on a personal, individual level to say, I'm going after that thing. I want it. I'm here to experience it. I'm deserving of that, and I'm dedicated to whatever it takes to get there. So that's my message for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you want to follow along for more, make sure that you're following me here. I'll be sharing more videos, more insight into, you know, the work that I do, how I see things, how I work with energy to help create some real significant breakthroughs in life. So I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon.